Anybody got a tone you can help me?
I think they win. Round of applause right here.
Yeah.
Mr. Gross. I'm looking at the best furniture.
And so we figured, since we have a little bit of time in our hands, because they went to the wrong place, we might as well fill the time. Could you imagine being that front office, and you've got these folks, and I'm just envisioning what they're going to be wearing. British garb, you know. I don't have a really good Peppa Pig voice, so it's not really going to work. And they come in and say, we are here to announce, and you're like, why are we here? And they're like, oops, sorry, wrong school. Yeah, that's kind of weird. So we figured we'd fill in some time. Why are we raising our hands? Bass, bass. Anybody hear bass? No trouble, just bass. Are you gonna sing? Do we have any children here that sing?
Okay, we're gonna do this impromptu style. Micah, do me a favor, go to, never mind, I'll be up there in just a sec. Class managers, class officers, get your choir in soprano, alto, tenor, bass, and behind the microphones, please. Give me 3 rows.
So parents, we want to thank you for being here. I know this is super exciting. Like I said, it's kind of weird that they showed up at the wrong school, but we thank you for your patience and your encouragement for our students. And I'm glad they're going to sing, and I'm going to have to sing.
This is 100% impromptu, so please do not judge. However, this cannot go online. You can record for your own posterity if you're a parent, but this cannot go online because we do not own this music. Okay? So that killed like 2 minutes. So you're welcome. You want to sing it? Who's here from 6th period? Who is here from 6th period? Raise your hands, please. Altos from 6th period. Sopranos from 6th period. Okay, everybody else have a seat. 6th period. Circle the microphones, please. Watch out for the wires. Thank you. So, just for those of you that don't know, the last piece was Oh Holy Night from Disney's Candlelight Processional, which is why I said we can't put that online because Disney owns that, we don't. We can perform it, we just can't say it's ours. That was about, I'd say a third of the choir. I have about 200 kids in choir this year. And at our concert on December 8th, you will see all 200 of those kids singing that piece. So if you thought that was something, you should hear all 200 of them. It's pretty nice. So this next piece is just one period, and this is not all of them. I'd see it's just under half of the kids in my 6th period class. It's a Hebrew piece. It's called Ose Shalom by Jean Levitt. And they wanted to sing something just them, so I wanted to give them a shot. Okay, ready? Sing beautifully, do your best. I don't have music in front of me, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll have a try. Okay, ready? I think that was their second time singing that all the way through. So. And this is the part of the afternoon where I do stand-up. Sure. I have this great bit about minors, like minor chords. So C, E flat, and G walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve minors." Oh. You're welcome, Kids. You're welcome. Thanks. Love these. All right, guys, got a few more minutes. They'll be here soon. Thanks.
Now, wasn't that wonderful? So, ladies and gents, while we're waiting, I'm going to invite School Board Vice Chair Ms. Jamie Haynes to come up here. And she didn't know I was going to do this, so I figured it'd be to come up here and say hello to everyone. Come on, Jamie. How many people here know what a school board member even does? Make us have dress code. Oh, she went straight for the karate. And so, Miss Jamie Haynes has the honor and pleasure. She's looking at me like, I didn't know you were going to do this, and I can't believe you're doing it. But we have time to kill. They won't be here for a little while. And so Miss Jamie Haynes is the school board member, just got re-elected about less than a week ago. A week ago, actually. Congratulations. And so she is your representative here in District 1. We have the pleasure of sharing Orange City. For those of you that live in Orange City, we share Orange City as it relates to the map. So that just means there's two people to throw things at when you want to throw something. And so Ms. Jamie Haynes, take it away.
I did when I was in high school, but I don't anymore. No. But what I will say is we also have to congratulate Mr. Cologne because he got reelected in August. And we do share University High, and we're happy to share University High. But beyond that, we actually share the entire west side of the county. So he represents all of Deltona and a part of Orange City. I represent Seville, Pearson, De Leon Springs, DeLand, Lake Helen, Casadega, the other half of Orange City, and all of DeBerry. But what I'll share with you today is a little bit of history, so you'll know something about me. I actually sat as a teacher in the school board meeting where they voted to build University High years ago. And you'd wonder, why was I sitting there in that meeting? I was sitting there in that meeting because not only was I a teacher, I was a mom. And I had hopes that my two kids were going to go to University High. So I sat in that meeting and I listened because we actually petitioned the state to build University High larger than any of the standard high schools that we had at that time in Florida. And the state granted the petition, and that's why your high school is 3 stories high and can hold the number of students it can hold. Now the sad piece about that though, we fell behind on building it, so my own 2 children never got to go here. But I was happy the day it opened because all of you got the opportunity to come to this beautiful campus and be a part of this tradition that we started. Because 36 years ago, I started my career as a teacher, and at that time, we only had DeLand High. I watched Deltona High open, Pine Ridge High open, University High open. But I started my career actually at Enterprise Elementary. And I started when we had junior high, so Deltona Middle was Deltona Junior High. So I've been around a long time, and I love what I did, and I loved being a teacher. And I'm surprised Mr. Cologne left me, because usually he teases me and says I started teaching in the 1800s, which is not quite true. But the one thing I never taught in elementary And I've said, maybe I should go back and do that, it's 4th grade. 4th grade was the one thing I never taught. I taught from pre-K through 6th grade at the elementary level, but I never taught 4th. And then I did teach at secondary. And how many of you in here love math? Can I see a show of hands? Who loves math? All right, you are my people. Here's what I taught at secondary. I taught pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, and geometry. Because guess what? Girls can do math. All right, so it looks like, are they here?
Not quite.
All right, we've got information. I'll tell you something. Else later.
All right, thank you all very much for coming. We're going to be just a few more minutes before they get here. One of the unique things, just so you know what happened logistically, was that they flew in from London and they're driving to pick them up at the airport, and they said University High School, and they went to the University High School in Orlando where I did my internship 20 years ago. So when I called the office, he said, yes, 1000 West Rhode Island. And I said, yes, that's correct, okay. And they called back and went, no, you're absolutely correct. They went to the wrong school. So the only thing I can imagine is the Bay Americans there going, what? What's happening? And then them going, just kidding. So, and right, yes, exactly. I'm hoping that they were like, you know, and they saw this guy coming in this room, and what is happening? You know, it's Dumbledore. All right, so the unique thing is that they will be here. That happened at like 1:32. They said 45 minutes. It is 2:03, so I'm hoping within 10 to 20 minutes they should be arriving. Which means what we'll do here, require you to sing a little bit, right?
Yes, we sing a couple.
Okay, cool. Percussion, why don't we do a cadence, keep your hands loose, and then band, why don't we go ahead and play through what we're going to play through for them when they get here, so we're not dead. Is that cool? Cadence, and then we'll play for you guys. Ladies First. So we did all female performing artists with their first big hits. This was going to be called Lips Are Moving by Megan Trainor. And then we will complete it with a little ending tag of Firework by Katy Perry. All right, here is private performance. This is a good one. We get one last time. Good job, man. Good job. Have a seat. Relax. Good job. Nice job, Gar. Very nice. All right, so a couple things really quick. Listen. As we start to kind of prepare for the people who arrive and do their thing, just remember to always have proper decorum and all that kind of good stuff. It's very important. And remember what an honor it is to be selected to do something like this. So enjoy yourselves, and I know that they'll feel absolutely terrible about being taken to the wrong school. So we'll accept them with grace and mercy. Yes. So they come in, applaud, cheer them on, all that kind of good stuff. I think that'll be great. They'll enjoy that. Just flew in from Miami, and boy, my arm's tired.
So, for those of you that are unaware, and I wanted to give you guys a minute to think about this. Now that we kind of have a moment, I told the band kids about this, and Guard, you should know about this as well. Choir, you might not know this, and some of our other guests and parents. But they, over in England, we get to be very fortunate. Sometimes we forget about our opportunities here in America. In England, they don't have music in school like we do. I want you to think about that for a second. They don't have these performance opportunities. If you want to study music, you can go to a special academy. You go and you do that. But if it's normal, John Smith Public High School, there's no marching band. They don't have marching bands in England. They have choirs, but they're specific for like churches or academies or universities. So we're very fortunate. So when they do something, an event like the London New Year's Day Parade or the London International Choral Festival, they can't really pull from what they have, and they know that America does it right. They know that we offer music in schools, and we have students that are able to play and do this amazing thing. They don't have football in England. They have football, but they don't have football. They have soccer, foodie ball. So understanding that they don't have marching band as we know it as marching bands. They may have like a fife and drum corps, and they do the changing of the guard over, I guess not for the king. You should know that the Queen did die. If you don't know that, that should be known. You should know that. She passed away, so don't bring it up. It might be a sore subject. Anyway, so with that in mind, they come to America and they seek out some of the top performing groups. Here in our parades, we have floats and we have different things of that nature. They don't do that there. It's all individual people. They have marching bands. They have dance troupes. It's all a Native American dance troupe. I got to know a nice gentleman who did that 4 or 5 years ago. I was stunned and watched them perform, and they were like blown away. So there's people, there's groups. They have car clubs that go over. They have like giant cheerleading groups that go over. They get selected each from their gyms, and they become like there's the highly competitive groups, and it's an amazing thing to be a part of it. You get to be a part of that. And you get to be a part of to sing in Westminster. I was blown away to be able to play in St. John Smith Square when I went. The honor that is being bestowed upon you guys, being invited to be a part of this, is a huge deal. Not just because you get to go on a trip. Anybody can go on a trip. I can go to London anytime I want. But the most memorable experience that I ever had was when I took a group of students over there and I saw their lives change. Their lives changed. They came back completely different. When they got to see a whole other country and a whole other thing, it was the most amazing thing for them. So they said, there were tears of joy when they finished the parade. I can't believe it. We did our dismissal in front of Westminster Abbey, and Big Ben right behind them. And they were like, "This is amazing. This is the most amazing thing." And you could understand. There's blubbering, and there's crying, there was snot, there was all of the above. And that was when, at my moment, that was the most joyous moment for me. I can go any kind of time like that. The most amazing thing for me is to watch their lives change. And they became different people at that moment. So that was so special for me and special for them. So to be asked, to be offered an invitation to perform in a choral festival, perform in the London New Year's Day Parade, when they get here, take it with a big chunk of humble pie. Understand? Take it with humility and with a lot of gratitude. And now, from here on out, you have to live up to that standard. Every day in your classes, in your rehearsals, in your practices, in your MPAs, solo and ensemble. It doesn't just end today. Like, we're in, that's it. Hey. Well, if you stink it up for the rest of the year, they could revoke that at any time. I don't think they would, but come on, right? But the deal is, you have to live up to the standard now that's been set for you and what's been seen in you. This is based on the program's merit. Got it? People see something amazing, so parents, this is going to be a life-changing thing, and I thank you for your time and your opportunity and being gracious and knowing this is going to take them a little bit of time to get here. I interned at that school. I think I told you that like 20 years ago. 22 years, 20, yeah, it was a long time ago. So I was like, yeah, okay, all right, that's over by UCF. That's where it is. So I just can't wait for all of this to happen for all of them. So when we do our fundraising efforts, it's a joint effort. We want to lower that cost by 1/3. We need parents, we need volunteers to help out with that stuff. I can't do it myself. I mean, I wish I could. I mean, I could write a check, just don't cash it, right? So, I mean, I do make a lot of money as a teacher, so you know it can happen. But the truth is, we need your involvement. And it's not just to be there because, you know, oh, we need you, we need your money. No, we need you to help, like reach out to the community. Our goal will be to reach out to the community and provide services. Like, let's do a concert. Let's do a golf outing. Let's do a spaghetti dinner and we'll do some really cool stuff. You know, anytime we have something, the media is here, they're gonna do a great job of covering all that stuff, but it's gonna require parents to run it. Got it, and I'll be behind you 100%. And great minds need to get it figured out. So I'm counting on you to make it happen for these kids, because they have been chosen. They are the chosen ones. Right? Yes. So as we approach this time and as they get here and all this kind of good stuff, remember that. So play with your abilities that you've been playing with. Sing your best. Perform your best, because you've been picked. You've been picked. And that to me is like the coolest thing ever, but you don't know the impact until you step off that airplane and you go, I'm in another country. Yes, yes. And people are really polite there, really polite. If they run into you, they apologize. Bang, oh, sorry. You know, oh, nice. There's a couple things, and by the way, cars do drive on the other side of the street there. So instead of looking left, you have to look right first. There were a couple kids that didn't know that at first, like, oh, wait! Right? And it was like they were going to go out in traffic. It was kind of funny at the time. So, anyway, I'm thrilled, and you should be too, and maybe my pants a little bit. Okay. When they get it, may happen. Just that way.
do we have in the room today? Yay! Okay, so this message is for you guys. We are going to be heading into our next fundraiser, Luminaries. Who's done Luminaries with us before? Woo! That's not too loud on this thing. You might want to mark your calendars and check on the band app. On the 26th of this month, we're going to be having a day where the kids come in and fill Ziploc bags with sand and stuff to start putting our luminary kits together. Nice, yeah. I'm going to tell you guys it's for a grade. Just kidding, but we need as many of you guys to show up to help fill those bags so that we can make our kids to make this a successful sale, guys. Okay? So to the parents, we need volunteer drivers. It takes about 30 drivers every year to pull this successful sale off. We raise anywhere between $8,000 and $10,000 a year on the luminary sales. And so as many parents as can get involved, we would appreciate it if you would sign up. The first day for sales is going to be December 3rd, and the second day will be December 10th. December 3rd is 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., and December 10th is going to be 8 a.m. to 12 noon, because we also have the Orange City Parade that day. So it'll be a very busy day. So we're going to put sign-up sheets out on the band app for parents to sign up to drive, and we'll have those out. Christina, by the end of the weekend, where did she go? By the end of the weekend? So we'll have those sign-up sheets out by the end of the weekend. It requires taking kids in your car and going to different neighborhoods that we've already pre-planned and pre-mapped out, and having the kids go door to door to sell these luminary kits. So please sign up. And that's it.
So to see the kids engaged, to see them talking to each other, and even though they're on their phones, they're texting home and they're posting pictures and they're sharing their stories. It's connecting our entire community.
Look around, like, I couldn't put my phone down taking pictures of every building. Like, I'm just so impressed with the architecture here. It's amazing. It's not like Delaware at all. Like, I'm trying to figure out which building is my favorite. I don't know. Like, it's just so cool.
doesn't get any better. Students need to go see the world. They know their area, their region of the United States, but they don't necessarily have a world view. They get out here, they see how similar we are, see how different we are, but they see how human we all are. That's important. That's great.
Being college students and adults, mobile individuals, they plan to give them a lot of free time. So I heard of several going to see the Nutcracker or ballet last night. Some went to a string quartet performance. So they did their homework. They researched and found out what was going on, and not just what's on our itinerary. They're like, hey, what else can we see while we're here?
Yesterday we went to Greenwich, and I'm a physics major with an interest in time. So getting to see all the blocks of the maritime stuff and finding out longitude, that was incredible.
Really good opportunity for our band and for the people that are involved around our community.
That was so fun. I'm having the time of my life right now. I am so happy to be here.
Big crowds, more than 8,000 performers, millions more are watching on TV.
You don't really understand until you're standing there and you're like, wow, this is a lot of people.
Among the big celebration, a little piece of Arizona.
St. John's was absolutely beautiful. The students sounded great, and we really enjoyed performing for our other colleagues and all these appreciative fans and supporters that were there that evening. Thousands of people looked like had watched the stream at this point. Our families were great to watch, so it was really special for us.
The kids were excited and energetic. It was wonderful seeing the groups perform before us, and the crowd was electric, and it was taking the stage and doing what we do and sharing our craft with everyone. It was so beautiful.
More outside of our own little realm of where we've grown up and what we were raised to believe, because there's so many different beliefs and so many different cultures everywhere.
You don't teach how to travel the right way. You don't teach, oh, I'm in a real busy place and I've never been like that before, or how you cope with being tired or your feet hurting or customs and but for the most part, there's something special and magical almost about making music anywhere together, but making it somewhere else, being like ambassadors for your own city, it's an honor, it's amazing.
I just got a phone call, and they said that they were less than 10 minutes away, and that was about 5 minutes ago. So when I spoke with them, we are going to expedite them getting onto campus so they won't have to go to the front office or be coming in here. So we should be starting momentarily, I hope, for them to arrive. It'll be exciting. So remember, welcome them, cheer them on, be excited, and the whole thing should take between 20 and 25 minutes tops, and then we'll have time to take pictures and things of that nature. Okay? Sound good? Yes. Yay!
you guys for your patience. Thank you.
Careful. It might end up on the internet.
Oh my gosh, they forgot. Like, I swear.
So we, you guys have
I've got 2 videos. They're up, ready to go. Which one do you want to do? Stage with the full
Good afternoon, students, teachers, administrators, and guests. Thank you so much for joining us today for this exciting event for our Titan students. Your enthusiasm, hard work, and superior performances have brought you to this very moment. On behalf of your school, we are very proud and excited for you. I would like to introduce our distinguished guests on the stage. Special guest, the former Lord Mayor of Westminster, Duncan Sands. Special guest, founder of the London New Year's Day Parade, Robert Bone. School Board Chair, Mr. Ruben Colon, was here but did need to depart. School Board Vice Chair, Ms. Jamie Haynes, is with us. Assistant Superintendent for High Schools, Dr. Gabe Barrio. Director for High Schools, Mrs. Carol Carbonell. Performing Arts Specialist, Mr. John Dupuy. Our UHS band conductor, Jerry Piskowski. And our UHS choral conductor, Jonathan Anderson. At this time, please stand as our Titan Choir performs the national anthem.
Wonderful to see you guys again, and again from last night and from a few years ago. All right, we would like to perform for you to get an idea of what the University of Titan Regiment is all about. We're going to do a selection from our field show this year. We did a whole show dedicated to Ladies First. It's our first female performing artist big hits. So this one is Megan Trainor's Lips Are Moving, and then we'll do a little bit of percussion feature. It'll take us back into Katy Perry's Firework. So hope you enjoy it. Here's the Titan Regiment. Guard is almost set. to turn it over to our esteemed guests from across the pond, as they say. Here's Mr. Bone from the London New Year's Day Parade.
First, let's just adjust this, because I'm always the last person to know that it's raining. It's a good thing about being not very tall. Well, firstly, I must say, fantastic performance, band, absolutely brilliant. If there was any danger of us falling asleep, that's certainly long forgotten. And choir, you sang your anthem beautifully. I'm always very, very envious of your anthem, because knocks spots off ours. But beautifully sung, thank you. And then, of course, the inevitable apology for being so late and keeping you in here for such a long time waiting for us. It just shows you what happens when you have an over-reliance on sat-navs. Sent us to the wrong university high school. And the rest is history. We're here now, and I didn't get too many speeding tickets, I'm very pleased to say. Anyway, thank you for your patience. Again, thank you for the performances too. Now, I'm here to tell you a little bit about London's New Year's Day Parade and Festival, and the London International Choral Festival as well. So, let's start with the parade. We call London's New Year's Day Parade the greatest event in the greatest city in the world. Anybody going to argue with either of those statements? Well, you could do, you should do perhaps. But anyway, I'm going to justify why we are the greatest parade in the world, which we are. And then I'm going to hand over to our patron, very good friend, former Lord Mayor Duncan Sands, to tell you why we're the greatest city. He's got a pretty easy job as well, in my view. Anyway, greatest event in the world, greatest parade in the world. Okay, let's do it with some facts and some figures. On the 1st of January 2023, we will have just under 9,000 people taking part in London's New Year's Day Parade. Those 9,000 people form 72 different acts that come from 26 different countries around the world this year. Putting that into some sort of perspective, there's a little event next week, I think, Crumbs, yes, next week it is, in New York City, up there. And I think it's named after a department store, am I right? I don't know. That's the one, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, yeah. Now, they think they're a pretty big deal. They are. But they're nothing like as big as us. See, they have regularly around about 4,200, 4,300 people taking part in the event. Just remember, we have nearly 9,000 in London. Makes us twice as big as Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Then there's our street audience, and there I'm afraid we don't quite compare. But the only reason we don't quite compare is because the streets in London aren't quite as wide as those in New York, or in fact, anywhere in this country. We just haven't got the same sort of space. But well over 500,000 people, in fact, 2020 we had a street audience for London's New Year's Day Parade of 630,000. That's quite a lot of people. I mean, I know you probably regularly perform to those sort of numbers, but believe you me, on the streets of London, over 500,000 people is a lot. So they all come out, 630,000 on the 1st of January 2020, and I'm sure we'll have the same numbers this year. Why do they come out? They come out, of course, because the weather is so beautiful. It's warm, it's sunny, it's absolutely fantastic. You're not even arguing, you're not even contesting. Anyway, that's the only thing I am telling you today that is not strictly true, okay? The weather is not that great, but it's generally sort of, we use old money here, don't you? So about 45, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's dry usually, and we'll come to that later on perhaps, and sometimes the sun shines. Anyway, it's not the weather. They don't come out because of the weather, they come out because of the fantastic entertainment that's on offer. and they stay there between 12 o'clock and 3:30 in the afternoon, and they don't move. They just love everything they see in the parade. Now, as responsible event organisers, which of course we are, we regularly, every single year, we poll our audience, we do a bit of market research, audience research, on what the people in the crowd like best. And this is absolutely true. Every single year, the same answer comes back. The favourite thing for our audience in London's New Year's Day parade are the marching bands from the United States of America. Now, we don't have anything as good, as spectacular, as exciting as your style of marching band in the United Kingdom. We've got plenty of military bands, we've got tons of community bands, brass bands, goodness knows what. Nothing as fantastic as you. And we started scratching our heads wondering why our schools don't have marching bands. Didn't have to scratch our heads very long before coming up with the answer. It's because we play proper football. And you see, we don't have to have marching bands to make the whole 100 hours or whatever it takes to play a game of American football remotely interesting. So that's why we don't have marching. Anyway, we're glad we don't, because it means we can bring you across to liven up our parade. And it doesn't end there. The other thing that is very, very pertinent is the audience that we have, sorry, the TV audience that we have for the parade worldwide. And again in 2020, although we have had events in the last 2 years of the pandemic, which have also been broadcasted, we have had huge TV audiences for those as well. But the last full year of the parade running in 2020, before the world was struck down, we had 350 million. 350 million people had the ability to watch the entire London parade, 3.5 hours of it live on television. And I'm very pleased to say that in this country, well in fact, we've come from, I was at the American Public Television, PBS, autumn conference yesterday afternoon, where every PBS station in the country has pledged to show the entire London New Year's Day parade live on January the 1st, 2023, and 2024, and 2025, if we allow them to still have it. So it means that everybody who doesn't come, which I hope will be nobody in this room, but everybody who doesn't come to London will be able to watch the band in the parade on New Year's Day. So have I kind of established that London's New Year's Day parade is a pretty big deal? And does the band want to come to it? Oh, that's right. Okay, fine, we'll go. Does the band want to come to London's New Year's Day parade? Okay, you're going to have to do better than that when it comes to Duncan's turn, I can tell you. Now, let's just deal with the choir, if we may, for a minute, because alongside the parade, we have this wonderful choral festival that lasts for a whole week throughout New Year's week in London, culminating in the final event of the festival, which is a fabulous gala concert for all of the choirs that come on January the 2nd in a spectacular London venue. So they all sing together wherever they come from, all the choirs accompanied by the Young Musician Symphony Orchestra, which is all of the graduates of London's top music schools, Guildhall, Purcell and Royal College of Music, who are just cutting their teeth, if you like, in a full orchestra, and they are the accompanists for that finale concert. But the choirs also get the opportunity to perform, well, actually as many concerts as they wish, of their own, but we generally recommend 2 concerts of your own, which we fully promote and which Londoners will flock to, and it's an absolutely magical experience. So the choral festival is frankly just as important as the parade to all of us in London, and it's a really, really, really special sort of occasion. So anyway, those are the events, those are the performance opportunities, those are the things that you'll be doing in that sense. But of course, the main thing is you're coming to London. You're coming to London to enjoy a week in London. And who better to tell you a little bit about London and what you're going to see and what you're going to do and a few other things as well than former Lord Mayor of the City of Westminster, which is the site of parade, former President of the London Mayors Association, still a member of the London Mayors Association, and a very, very good friend of the parade, as I say, senior patron of the parade. Would you please give an extraordinarily loud welcome to Duncan Sands, because he's the guy who's going to be probably giving you the invitation, and if you don't make a lot of noise for it, he sometimes gets upset. So, Duncan Sands.
But also because I'm an Englishman and we love apologising, I would like to add my apologies for our lateness this afternoon. Can I just say to the choir and to the band, that was a fantastic performance by both of you. I thought for a moment that the band might raise the roof off this building. So as Bob said, my role here this afternoon is to tell you a little bit about the City of Westminster and London and the parade route. Obviously, London's been an international city for centuries. It's full of history and culture, and it's attracted and it continues to attract people from all over the world to live and work in London. The City of London itself is the seat of our monarchy, it's the seat of Parliament and also of our government. There's lots of tourist attractions there like the London Eye, world-class museums like the National Gallery and the Tate Modern, and also, as I said, history by the bucketload. The Tower of London, St Paul's Cathedral, Westminster Abbey, those are just some of the jewels in the crown of London. Let me just ask, how many, for a show of hands, how many people here have been to London before? So not very many of you, so it means that you are in for a real treat to come to London. But let me just describe for you the parade route. It's one of the wonderful things about the London New Year's Day Parade is that the parade route courses through the historical heart of London, and so at every turn that you make, you'll be in that historical quarter of London. So the parade starts outside London's Ritz Hotel, which is on Piccadilly, and you go down Piccadilly to Piccadilly Circus, and I'm sure that anyone who's seen any of the tourist photos that we have for London will have seen Piccadilly Circus. It's the one with the very large electronic advertising boards and the statue of Eros, and it's an iconic image which is used all the time. From there you go onto Lower Regent Street and then down onto Pall Mall. And I always think when I'm describing the parade route, it feels like I'm playing the London version of Monopoly, because many of the streets appear on the Monopoly board. And from there you go into Trafalgar Square. And there's, for the band, there's a very important thing I need to tell you about Trafalgar Square. So Trafalgar Square is named after the Battle of Trafalgar that took place in 1805. And in the middle of the square is a large column at 160 feet tall with the commander of that battle, Admiral Lord Nelson, on top of it. But the key is about the base. At the base of the column there are 4 lions. Now, there is a myth, and it is a myth, but myths sometimes you should take heed of. There is a myth that if the bell of Big Ben in the Elizabeth Tower in Parliament at the other end of Whitehall were to chime 13 times, those lions will come alive. So, as I said, it's a myth, but I would recommend to you that as you come into Parliament Square, that you keep one ear open on the bell of Big Ben. If you hear it chime, I suggest that you count the chimes. And if you think that it's 13 and the lions do indeed come alive, I don't have any good advice for you, apart from perhaps run for your lives. So from Trafalgar Square, you go on to Whitehall, which literally is the seat of our government. It's bounded up and down on both sides by government departments. And one of the first buildings that you will come to is called Banqueting House. Banqueting House is the last surviving part of the old Whitehall Palace, which is where our kings and queens used to live before they moved to Buckingham Palace. Now, about 350 years ago, on January the 30th, 1649, it was a big event that took place there where we chopped off the head of our king, King Charles I. And little did he know at the time, but he passes on some wonderful and very helpful advice to participants of London's New Year's Day parade. So he was executed, as I said, on January the 30th, and the night before, he asked for 2 undershirts to be laid out in order that he would remain, in order that he would stay warm when he went the next morning to his execution, because he didn't want people to think that he was shivering or nervous to go to his death. And so there you have it, directly from King Charles I. Make sure that you wrap up warmly before taking part in London's New Year's Day parade. From there, as you continue down, you will pass number 10 Downing Street, where our Prime Minister resides, the official residence of the Prime Minister. And if you've been watching the news recently, we've had quite a few of those. I think Rishi Sunak is still the Prime Minister at the moment. And then you will pass the Cenotaph, which is our war memorial to our national war memorial to our war dead. And from there you come into the part of the parade route, which really for me is the most sort of exciting part, and that is the finale arena. And the reason I say that is that we don't have, as you do in America, we don't have these wide avenues. I mean, Whitehall, by British standards, is a wide road, but you would think it was probably a country lane with the width that it is. But when you pack in, a band, or at the finale, a number of bands, and you pack in all the spectators who are lining the streets in that area, the wonderful thing about the finale arena is that when you play, just as the band played earlier, the music just reverberates off the buildings, and it's the most wonderful sound that you hear. And that'll be the last moment on which you play along the 2.2-mile route. So from when you played that last piece in the finale arena, you will go off into Parliament Square, which, as the name suggests, is bounded on one side by Parliament, by Westminster Abbey, and by our Supreme Court. And we have a number of statues in there. And as you go into Parliament Square, I always like to ask bands to look for one particular statue, which is right there as you come into the square, which is the statue of it has a personal meaning to me because it's the statue of my great-grandfather, Winston Churchill. And so when you look at him, you may think at a first look that he's looking at you a little bit gruffly. But I would say to you, just take another look, because if you look carefully, what you will see is that actually there's a little wry smile there, so a cheeky schoolboy smile, telling you what a great job that you have done. And so, they say, there's a saying that a picture tells 1,000 words. And I've done as best I can to tell you about the parade. But thankfully, to do an even better job, we have a video if someone at the back of the room can press play for us.
Europe's largest firework display got underway, and that international welcome extended into New Year's Day. 10,000 people took part in London's annual parade, marching and dancing through the capital.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
This is London. And this
is London's New Year's Day Parade, one of the world's great street spectaculars. Live on the streets of Great Britain's capital city. Graced by performers from across the world, and the very best marching bands and cheerleaders from the United States.
The trip's been absolutely fantastic. Our students have had a really amazing experience, getting to see all sorts of different things that they normally wouldn't get to see back home, and we're really excited to be here getting ready for the parade. We always want our students to think worldly, and I think it's so important for them to see other students doing the things that they do, and not just in their small neck of the woods, but on a global scale.
You learn a lot about yourself and what you want to live like when you travel, and getting to see another culture, another point of view, it's invaluable to any student's education.
London's New Year's Day Parade is broadcast and streamed live across the USA.
21 American marching bands are among 8,500 performers taking part.
Thousands of Americans travel to London for a famous street parade that kickstarts every New Year.
They've travelled thousands of miles to be here. Some have performed at London's New Year's Day Parade before. For others, it's a brand new experience.
There are 9,000 participants from 20 different countries.
So they send talent scouts all over the country to find the best of the best and invite them here to London. So we're really honored to be here for this.
Out of the 350,000 cheerleaders who went to summer camp, we are the top 10%.
What's your favorite thing?
London Eye and fish and chips.
And throughout the New Year week, there's a superb series of concerts in some of London's greatest and most iconic music venues, featuring the most talented young musicians from the USA and Great Britain. It's the experience of a lifetime.
Very excited. Mostly nervous.
Yeah.
I know they're excited to go to Oxford and Windsor one of our days.
Our students and I were having such a good time. We're here at Windsor this afternoon. We're getting ready to go into the castle. And for a lot of my students, it's their very first time. And it's so exciting.
Those lucky enough to be invited to London's New Year's Day Parade can wish many millions a happy New Year and give the world a wave. London's New Year's Day Parade, a cherished turn-of-year tradition the world over. Become a London legend. It's awesome.
So I have to ask you, is this something you'd like to be invited to? Okay, so it was a great pleasure. The founders and patrons of London's New Year's Day Parade and Festival, the greatest event in the greatest city in the world, take enormous pleasure in extending an invitation to University High School Titan Regiment, Florida, USA, to travel to London to star in the 2023-24 edition of this exclusive and prestigious world-famous event. Congratulations. So we also have a video about the London National Choral Festival, which we will show in just a moment. Just before we do that, I just want to say The gala finale concert that takes place is one of the most impressive concerts that there is. And I can tell you that in the year that I was Lord Mayor of Westminster, and in years subsequently, all the mayors of London, in the London boroughs, this is like an event that they do not wish to miss. It is such an amazing, amazing spectacle. And you will see this from the video. What I will just say about the video is that the sound, the audio, is live recording from the concert, even though we show a multiple of different pictures, so you won't necessarily see pictures that match up with the audio, but the audio is live. So if we can play the video, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. So the patrons and the organising committee of the London International Choral Festival, in association with Youth Music of the World, the London Mayors Association, the Lord Lieutenancy of Greater London, take great pleasure in extending an invitation to university high school choirs, Florida, USA, to travel to London to participate in the 2023-24 International Choral Festival. Congratulations.
Before we head back over to you, we would love to give you guys a gift. We put together a little gift basket that has a lot of University Titan memorabilia stuff in it, t-shirts and towels and all that good this stuff. Yes. So thank you all for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you all for being so generous with your time with us. We're nearly finished, but we've just got one very important thing to do very, very quickly, if you don't mind. Excuse me. Remember I talked to you a little bit about the weather, and I kidded you that it was going to be nice and warm and so on, yeah? And you knew straight away, well, actually you didn't know straight away, which was worrying, that it probably wasn't going to be that warm. Anyway, never mind. But the thing that we don't like to happen is we don't like it raining. We don't like it when it rains. And we've actually got a pretty good record, or we did have a pretty good record of not having rain on New Year's Day in London, right through until 2017. And then on 2017, on January the 1st, it had the temerity to give us a deluge of rain. It wasn't just rain, it was hideous. The sort of stuff you sometimes see here, I think, in hurricane conditions. Anyway, never mind. The parade went ahead, everything was fine, everybody had a great time. In fact, the spirit of the parade was probably good. And everybody stayed to watch because the people who were performing were much admired. In fact, they were battling through the conditions. But we did decide that it must not rain on our parade ever again. We sort of sought a way to ensure that this would happen, or rather not happen. We asked everybody what we could possibly do. Nobody had the remotest idea of what we could possibly do, until some bright spark said something that I initially thought was rather stupid. Well, the answer to your problem is an umbrella. Now, like you, I suspect, I immediately thought an umbrella's wonderful when it's raining, it might keep you a little bit dry. But it's not much good in stopping it raining. But then this person, who I initially thought wasn't too clever, actually said, well, you're pretty stupid yourself, because you don't know that if you keep an umbrella with you all the time when you're out and about, it's not going to rain. But if you leave your umbrella at home, you can bet the house that it's going to rain. So we thought, okay, fine, let's humour everybody and let's do this. So from that point on, we have presented the London New Year's Day Parade umbrella to every group that comes. And I have to tell you, it actually works. It works. We haven't had a drop of rain on New Year's Day between 12 and 3:30 since we started presenting the umbrella. So, what I need now is, oh, Miss Rams, it doesn't really matter. I mean, anybody in the group who's coming to London, I need somebody to be the custodian of the umbrella. So, can I have somebody's name selected for this? Okay, fine. Well, so who are we going to actually give it to right now? So we're going to... Right. Ellis. Right. You are going to be the custodian of the... Hand it over, please. Hand it over. Right. Okay. You have accepted. Yes? You're happy with that? Okay. I will now tell you what has to happen. Okay. From this point on, Ellis, well, I know you're going to have to trade it along the line, so this applies to all three of you, okay? Wherever it ends up. But, one of the three, this umbrella must not leave your person until 3:30 p.m. on January the 1st, 2024, okay? So that means that when you're in school, when you're weekending at home, when you're doing anything at all, day, night, in the shower, wherever you go, the umbrella stays with you, or you, okay? And when you do hand it on, you've got to be sure that you're touching it at the same time as the next person, okay? All right, okay, fine. So, now I know that these guys are almost certainly going to be very, very good, and we can trust them implicitly. But, just in case, I need you all to keep an eye on them for me, please, and make sure that they are people as well. Now, what we need to do, we actually found a use, believe it or not, for social media in all of this. And, you know, a beneficial, useful, I mean, positive use for social media. And we, of course, as the event, London's New Year's Day Parade, we're on all the platforms that you can imagine. I don't even know the names of all of them. We're either at LNYDP or lnydp.com or just plain LNYDP. London's New Year's Day Parade, LNYDP. Be very careful you don't get the last two letters the wrong way round. We should be talking to a police department. We don't want that to happen. LNYDP. So, if you ever see these guys without the umbrella on their person, please whip out your cell phone, take a quick picture and post it. I think Instagram's the best place for it to go. And then we will know exactly who is to blame should it rain on January 1st. Okay? In return for this awesome responsibility, we're going to give you the pin of the London Parade each to wear, okay? So here they are. Anyway, that's it. We've kind of run out of your time and our time. Just thank you again. Apologies again for being late. But let me say one very, very quick thing in finishing. Aside from the fact choir and band, you're both brilliant and you're going to grace our event fantastically well, but we can promise you that this will be a life-changing experience for you when you come to London. It will be the best week of your lives. Promise you that, guarantee that. Thank you very much indeed for being a fabulous audience.
Thank you one more time. Give it up for the wonderful people from London here. Give them a nice round of applause. All right, band.